We're the closest we've been in 30 years to bring school choice to Oregon.
I've always been supportive of education choice, homeschool, having empowering parents.
Governor Stitt says this plan is a first of its kind for school choice.
The 2024 to 2025 school year is going to be a massive year for kids escaping public school. And this includes me. I'm Coral from Relatable Homeschool Mom. I have worked in public education for nearly 10 years. Yet when I started looking at school options for my son's upcoming kindergarten year this year, I just couldn't bring myself to enroll him in the local public school, even though it's conveniently located near my house and it's free. Alternatives to public school has been on the rise in the United States, and today we'll dive into some numbers of how school vouchers are making private school and homeschooling more accessible than ever before. A significant factor that is driving people away from public school are school vouchers. But what exactly are school vouchers? They allow the money that our tax dollars are using to fund public schools to follow the student instead of the school. While there's quite a bit of opposition to school choice on both sides of the political spectrum,
thus far, early voter turnout in the Lone Star State has been much stronger among Republicans, who are picking sides in a bitter civil war over school choice.
it's clear that school choice is here to stay. Let's take a closer look at 5 states where kids are clearly escaping public school thanks to school vouchers. We can't talk about school choice without discussing Florida. In March 2023, Governor Ron DeSantis passed multiple scholarship or voucher programs under the HB1 law for both private school and homeschool. In the 2023 to 2024 school year, over 200,000 students enrolled in the 2 private school programs called the Florida Tax Credit Scholarship and the Family Empowerment Scholarship. A separate homeschool program called the Personalized Education Program was also created under the HB1 law. This program was specifically created for students to be educated at home. With this new expanded homeschool program, 20,000 students received $7,000 to $9,000 in 2023. The 2024 to 2025 school year, the program will more than double in size. Under the law, the program can grow 40,000 students per year for a total of up to 60,000 students enrolled in the upcoming school year.
Aren't you happy that Florida is the #1 state for homeschool in all of these United States?
That's quite a bold statement Ron DeSantis made a few weeks ago. So as we look at the next 4 states, we will also determine if he is right and if Florida really is the best state for homeschooling, at least when it comes to the homeschool voucher program. In Arizona, Governor Ducey has led the charge for universal school choice, thanks to the Empowerment Scholarship passed in 2022. Families receive funds to pay for various educational expenses, including private school and homeschool. Arizona offers around $7,000 per year for homeschooling expenses. Arizona's program is very flexible, benefiting many families since its inception. Last year, approximately 68,000 students were in the program, and so far this year, as of June 10, 2024, 75,000 students so far are enrolled. Because the voucher program is not separated by homeschool versus private school students like in Florida, I was not able to find the breakdown of how many students out of the 68,000 who used the voucher were homeschooled students. I have to admit, Florida's policy seems way more organized, and Arizona has been in the news quite a bit lately about their funding being out of control for their school choice program.
$3,400 spent on a single transaction at a golf store.
ABC 15 analyzed $300 million worth of voucher spending from the last year, and they found exorbitant non-educational expenses, which you can see visually represented by the items here with us today.
Golf store expenses, thousands of dollars for one piano. The organization Save Our Schools showing examples of several items approved by the Arizona Department of Education that ABC 15 previously reported on, and department leaders say are valid purchases.
It's hard being one of the first states to roll out such a huge policy, and it seems like other states, such as Florida, learned from Arizona and have had more organized rollouts of the program so they can get their operations and funding systematized. Are you ditching public school for homeschooling? If so, I invite you to subscribe to my channel where I make videos all about homeschooling and provide important news updates on homeschool vouchers across the country. Next to break down is Arkansas.
We're rolling out this program for our most at-risk families first, and within 3 years, it'll be available to every family in Arkansas.
The school voucher program called Education Freedom Accounts was signed into law by Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders in March 2023. It went into effect for the 2023 to 2024 school year, but homeschool was not an option to use with the vouchers in the first year of rollout. The program expands this year in the 2024 to 2025 school year to include homeschooled students. Still, not every family can apply for this upcoming school year. It is a 3-year rollout policy, and in the second year of the program, 2024-2025, there is specific criteria on who can apply, such as students zoned for schools with a D or F rating. For the 2025 to 2026 school year, all students will be allowed to apply. Likely not all who apply will get accepted, however, due to caps on funding, and that cap is not yet determined. The voucher amount in 2023 was around $6,600 per student, and this year it will increase to around $6,900. Around 5,400 students used the program last year, and in this school year, 2024-2025, up to 14,000 students can use the voucher. 4 Arkansas residents, 2 of which are public school teachers and all of whom are parents or guardians to public school students, recently filed a lawsuit against the school choice program. Check out my thoughts in this video. So how does Arkansas compare to Florida? Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders also made a statement that says Arkansas will have the best education policies in the country.
And today, we are delivering on that promise to introduce the most far-reaching, bold, and conservative education reforms anywhere in the entire country.
This year, Florida does have her beat because they've already had school choice for homeschool, and Florida is not limiting school choice based off criteria on where you live. Next year in Arkansas could be a different story since they will be opening homeschool vouchers for all students too. It will really depend on how many students can take advantage of the program next year, which is to be determined. Oklahoma has a different policy than all the others.
Governor Stitt says this plan is a first of its kind for school choice.
We're going to put the parents back in charge because you know your kids better than the government does. We're going to let you decide what school district and what is best for your kids, because anybody, any parent, that if your kid's not thriving and they're being bullied or whatever the case is, they don't have the programs they need or they're getting into the wrong crowd, any parent would do whatever they could to get their kids to a better system. Now that is possible in the great state of Oklahoma.
Governor Kevin Stitt signed into law in May 2023 the Oklahoma Parental Choice Tax Credit, which provides a tax break of up to $7,500 per child for private school tuition and a $1,000 tax credit per child for homeschooling expenses. This tax credit starts in the 2024 tax year, so it's a big change for school choice this upcoming school year. According to this news article, the Oklahoma Tax Commission received over 30,000 submissions within the first 90 minutes of launch. There was a $150 million limit for this first year of rollout, and all funds have been allocated. This just goes to show you that many families desperately want to change for their child. Personally, I appreciate this homeschool policy in this state. It's really not the same as a voucher because no one is given money up front. Oklahoma is pretty well known for being a freedom state, so I think approaching this in the form of a tax credit may be one of the best approaches I've seen, since so many people in the homeschool community in particular argue that they don't want the government regulating their homeschool. That's an understandable argument, and it seems, at least to me, less intrusive if it's just a tax credit that you claim at the end of the year. However, I do wish the homeschool tax credit was a little more. $1,000 is definitely plenty of money to buy curriculum for the year. But what about socialization and outsource opportunities? For me, for example, I would love to afford to pay for art classes for my son. I'm not very good at art, and this would be a good class for my son to learn from a specialized teacher, be around other kids, yet I wouldn't have to be worried about him being behind in art like I would if he were in a traditional math class in a private or public school. Being that it's only a $1,000 tax credit for homeschool, Florida definitely has Oklahoma beat on homeschool voucher amount. However, will Florida's voucher program be more regulated than Oklahoma's? It's definitely possible. So for right now, I would say Florida is better, but it will be interesting to see if this small but mighty freedom state will stay more free over time when it comes to homeschooling. Utah is another brand new state implementing a school voucher program called Utah Fits All Scholarship for the 2024 to 2025 school year. Originally set for 5,000 student scholarships, the funding actually doubled due to high demand. This continues to prove my point that more kids in the state of Utah are also escaping public school this year. The $8,000 tax-free scholarship includes homeschooling. However, due to a cap of 10,000 students, priority is given to students of families in lower income brackets. I'm not sure if they're planning to expand the program next year, So because Florida has clear policies to expand the program by 40,000 students every year, the Utah Homeschool Voucher program does not beat Florida. Finally, let's break down Georgia's policy.
SB 23, the Georgia Promise Scholarship Act, will allow families from the lowest performing schools in our state to have greater choice in where their children learn, allowing money to flow to the student and pay for educational expenses at qualifying schools.
On April 23, 2024, Governor Kemp signed a school choice law, SB 233, known as the Georgia Promise Scholarship. It is specifically a voucher program only for students who live in the lowest performing 25% of public schools. Students will be allotted $6,500 and the money can be used for homeschooling. Although there will be no family income requirements, priority will be given to students from families under 400% of the federal poverty level. Although the program passed in 2024, the official start date is not until the 2025 to 2026 school year, so this year we won't see a huge change in kids escaping public school in Georgia, but next year will be huge. Based on the policy only being for students in low-performing districts, Georgia definitely doesn't beat Florida with their school choice policy. So who is the winner on being the best homeschool state for vouchers out of these 5 states discussed? For this school year, it's a close tie between Arizona and Florida since they both have universal school choice. Arizona doesn't seem to have a cap on who can get the voucher, so that does seem better on paper, but it also seems like the program might be a bit of a mess in that state. I'm going to give Florida the win simply out of organization of the policy, a clear distinction of programs between private school vouchers and homeschool vouchers, and there is an organized rollout of the policy. So Ron DeSantis, I think you may be right about homeschooling being best in Florida. However, future overregulation is still a concern there for me. I will be watching. So what are your thoughts on school vouchers? Are school vouchers the future of homeschooling? Do they provide too much regulation? Or do they offer more freedom? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe to stay updated with the latest homeschooling trends and tips. Until next time, y'all.